Hi, I am Ravinder Singh and welcome back to my show. So today the lesson that I am going to explain for you, it is very interesting lesson because this lesson shows the author's dare and courage. So let's know about this lesson. Actually, the name of this lesson is Deep Water. It is an excerpt of Man and Mountain that has also been written by William O. Douglas, who is the author of this lesson, Deep Water. In this lesson, the author William O. Douglas tells his own personal experience that he has experienced in his early period of life. He tells in this lesson that when he was 3 and 4 years old, his father had taken him at the sea beach of California. So he goes to the sea beach of California with his father, and his father and he stand at the surf. At that time in the sea, the waves they are rising little higher. And mostly if you have seen the sea in any movie and if you live in any coastal area, so of course you will have seen the waves when they rise. So one of the wave it comes to the shore. So that day it happens to one of the wave it comes and it knocks the author away, and the author he falls and he tries to cling his father. His father laughs to see the child's activity, but this incident fills in the author's mind a kind of fear. It develops in him a kind of aversion. Aversion it means strong dislike. But when the author he becomes 11 years old, he decides to learn to swim. And in the state where he is living, there is a river named Yakima that has been named from the Yakima state that exists in America's one of the state. So the Yakima river it is treacherous, it is dangerous, and so many times his mother kept on reminding him it drowning of Yakima river. So he joins a pool. He joins a pool named YMCA, Young Man Christian Association. YMCA pool it offers the opportunity to learn to the swim. So the author he joins because the YMCA pool it is safe. It is safe. It is 3 feet deep at the shallow end, and the other it is 9 feet deep, and its drop is gradual. So the author he gets a pair of water wings and he goes to the pool to swim. In starting, he hates to walk naked into the pool, but he subdues on his pride and he does. He tries to swim to imitate the other boys who are swimming in the pool. So he imitates them and he tries to swim. He does this 2 and 3 times on different days. After some times, he starts to feel easy at the water. For author, it has not been long time to go to the pool. A misadventure it takes place. The author goes to the pool. At that time, there is no one else. So the author he thinks and he sits at the edge of the pool to wait for someone. The place is very quiet and the water is still. He sees the tile bottom is as white and clean as bathtub, but he is timid in going to the water alone. So he waits for someone. Then a big bruiser boy who is probably 18 years old, who has thick hair on his chest and who has strong body muscles. He comes and he yells to the author, hi skinny, how do you like to be ducked off? With this, he picks the author up and he tosses him into the deepest end. And the author, he lands in sitting position. On the way down, the author he plans, he makes a strategy. He thinks that as soon as his feet hit the bottom, he would make a jump. He would come to the surface like a cock and he would paddle and he would get to the edge of the pool and he would be safe, he thinks. But it seems to him long way down. Those 9 feet are more likely 90 feet. Before he touches the bottom, his lungs are ready to explode, his head throbs, he goes panic, he starts to suffocate. But when he feels the bottom under his feet, he does as he has thought. He imagines that he would pop to the surface like a cork, but instead he comes up slowly. He opens his eyes and he sees only water. Water that has yellow tinge, that has dirty yellow tinge. He tries to yell, but no sounds come. Then his nose, his eyes, his nose come out of the water. He flails at the surface of the water and he tries to bring his legs up, but they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. He strikes as he goes down, expanding his all strength as one in nightmare fights. Because when one dreams a bad dream, when one is dreaming a nightmare thing, so he resists in the dream. He tries to make himself waken because that time the person becomes restless. So the author he does like that. He starts to lose his breath, his lungs ache, his head throbs. But he remembers his strategy. He remembers the strategy. He would sprint to the bottom of the pool and come to the surface like a cork and paddle his feet and get to the edge of the pool and be safe. He strikes out with his arm, he thrashes with his legs. When he goes down, he goes down and down endlessly. He opens his eyes and he sees only dark water. Dark water through which one cannot see. And then the stark terror seizes him. The terror that knows no understanding. The terror that knows no control. The terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. He tries to yell. He is shrieking underwater. Even his screams are frozen in his throat. He becomes paralyzed. Only his heart and pounding in his head say to him, he is still alive. You are still alive. But when he feels the bottom under his feet, he does as he has thought. He makes a jump. But the jump, it makes no difference. It makes no difference. He looks for ropes, ladders, water wheels, but he gets nothing. He gets only water. He gets only water. And then a mass of yellow water holds him. It holds him completely. And the stark terror takes an even deeper hold on him, like a great charge of electricity. He shakes and trembles with fright. His arms wouldn't move, his legs wouldn't move. He tries to call for help, to call for mother, but nothing happens. And then, strangely, he comes out of the water. He comes above the water. He sees his eyes come out and then his nose. And then he starts down again. So he loses his hope. He thinks that his all effort has ceased. He relaxes. His legs feel limp and a blackness seeps over his brain. It wipes out his fear. It wipes out his terror. He thinks that this is nice to be drowsy, to go to sleep, no need to jump, too tired to jump. It is carried gently. It is nice to carry it gently, to float along in space. Tender arms like mothers. He starts to think like this because when one loses his hope, when one doesn't succeed in his efforts, so this type of feeling it comes in the mind automatically, and the one he really goes in a state of unconscious, and then the author he crosses to oblivion, and the curtain of life falls. The next he remembers he is lying on his stomach beside the pool and is vomiting. And the chap is referred the boy who has thrown him. The chap he was saying, but I was only fooling. And someone from the crowd says the kid is nearly going to die. The kid is nearly going to die. But be alright now. Let's carry him to the locker's room. Several hours later, the author walks his home, and when he lays on his bed, he cries. Even that day, he doesn't eat anything. For days, a haunting fear is in his mind. A slight exertion upsets him, making him wobble in his knees and sip to his stomach. Thereafter, he doesn't go to the pool. A few years later, when he comes to know the waters of cascades, so he wishes to get into them, but the terror that has caught him in the pool, it comes in his mind again. It destroys his many things. Whether he is fording the Titan or bumping river or bathing in the warm lake of caught rocks, the terror that has caught him would come returns to his mind. It makes him paralyzed. It makes him paralyzed, rigid. He becomes unconscious. This handicap stays with him as the years roll by. It ruins his fishing, deprives him of joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. And the author he uses every way as he knows to overcome this fear, but it had held him completely in its grip. So the author he decides to get an instructor. On 1 October, he gets an instructor and decides to learn swimming. He practices 5 days a week, an hour each day there. The instructor puts a belt around him. A rope attaches to the belt, goes through the pulley that runs over an overhead cable. The instructor holds on to the end of the rope, and they go back and forth across the pull. It happens. It goes till 3 months. After 3 months, the tension it starts to release. It starts to slack. And then the instructor teaches him to put his face under the water and exhale, and to raise his nose and inhale. So the author does the moves different times, more than many times. He repeats each and every he repeats the exercise hundred of times, and then he starts to get rid of the fear of water. After that, the instructor teaches him to kick with his legs. So the author he does. Firstly, his legs refuse to work, but they gradually relax and he commands them. In April, the instructor says to the author, swim, dive and swim across the pool. The crawl stroke. Crawl stroke, what does it mean? The crawl stroke, it means it is a style of swimming which one does on his front. When one does the crawl stroke, he moves first one arm and then the other side over his head and turn his face so that he can breathe and kick up and down with his legs. So in a crawl stroke, this type of thing is done. So the author shows to do. The instructor thinks that he is finished, but the author is not satisfied. He thinks that he is not finished. So he stays the pool, he tries to swim and he swims, and this goes on until July. But he is still not satisfied with himself. He is not sure that the terror has left him completely. So he goes to the Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire and he dives off at Triggs Island and he swims 2 miles across the lake to Stump-Act Island. He swims the crawl stroke, the breaststroke, the side stroke and backstroke. Once the terror comes when he is in the middle of the lake, but he doesn't pay attention. He doesn't see. He only see water, bottomless water. He doesn't concentrate. And he says to the terror, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" And then the terror it flees and he swims. Yet the author has some residual doubt, but when the author gets his first opportunity, he hurries west, he goes up the Titan to Conrad Meadow, up the Conrad Creek trails to the mid glacier. There he camps in the high meadow by the side of warm lake. And the next morning he strips and dives into the lake and he swims across the pool back and shore and back, and he does. He chose to do as once the Doug Copeland had shown to do, and he shouts with his joy. And the Gilbert Peak it returns the echo. Through this way, the author conquers his fear of water. For the author, this experience had a deep meaning. Only those who have known the stark terror, and conquer it can appreciate. In the death there is peace. There is terror only in the fear of death. The author tells us. He says, once the Roosevelt said, all we have to fear is fear itself. And for the author, this thing had deep meaning because he had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror of fear. He had experienced both things. So, in life, it becomes very complicated when some evil things overpowers us. But how can we really get rid of that evil thing? To do practice more than many times, to really practicing Have a nice day. Glad to see you again.